The crisis has left a huge number of internally displaced persons who now have their abode in public schools with students during school hours. The IDP says life has been difficult as little is being done to help them cope with the displacement. Comfort has eluded them.
The ministry is trying to see what it can do to keep supporting people who are displaced. We're looking at the grain reserve to find food and send to them wherever they are, because that's our business.
I've been to the locations in Agatu town itself where the atrocities are taking place. And I have witnessed myself the number of killings, the destruction of properties, especially buildings, the burning down of people's homes, and the destruction of their farmlands and crops. I've witnessed all these myself. We are here in the internally displaced people's camp in Ubokbo, and you can see the magnitude of this crisis is of unimaginable proportion, and something seriously has to be done almost immediately to alleviate the sufferings of the people.
The agreement was that the Benue people should hold themselves, the national should control their asses, so there will be no crossing of the river. These people, they use flying boat to cross. They're not crossing by land, they're not coming by motorcycle. And that is the only means of transportation.
The bloody Agatu crisis has led to the opening of more IDP camps, as the one in Akpa local government is experiencing population explosion. The camp's food crisis has resulted to the humanitarian aid by the government and concerned persons.
Well, actually, there are 3 camps established by the government of Benue State. But I think the management of the camps have been a bit faulty. Faulty in the sense that there ought to be some basic provisions at the camps, like health facilities, that will take care of health challenges of the IDPs, like security facilities, because this is a camp where we have so many people put together. One wouldn't know who is bad and who is good. And some hoodlums can even take advantage of a situation like this to cause crisis. But let me particularly be thankful to Chief Mike Onoja. He's been a very, very wonderful friend of our people. He's been a very, very wonderful supporter of our people and our cause.
As a result, he has asked me to come and present his widow's mite, the sum of 500,000 naira. It's a small amount, but he thinks it will cushion a little effect of what the people are passing through. And it is his prayer that lasting peace will return to the place. So, on his behalf, I now make the presentation to his Lordship, the Bishop of Otugoda.
And then convey my Honorable Commissioner, please convey our sentiments of appreciation to your colleagues who put this stuff together to bring to our people. We would be expecting that we can work hard to influence the government to ensure that government puts other arrangements on ground to ensure that we have lasting solutions where we can live in peace with one another as a nation.
I saw my villagers moving out of their homes in droves. I do not have that intelligence apart from what I've seen today. But going back now to Makodi, this is something that I want to go and relate to those that have the responsibility for providing security for the state. And I hope that this is something that they will also look into critically and see how they can provide solutions to.
Indigents of Benue, resident in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, take to the streets to drum the crisis into the ears of the central government. They call for an immediate intervention to end the age-long hostilities. They fear the attack on Agatu local government may spread to other areas if left unchecked.
Idomas are on the streets of Abuja demanding for justice in Agatu. It's not just Agatu affairs, Idoma affairs. The entire Idoma race is in danger. The Idomas contribute so much to the growth of Nigeria, contribute greatly in the unity of Nigeria, and today that greatness is in danger. That's why we are here shouting and crying that the government of the day should do something. That Agatu people are dying, mothers are dying, homeless, no farmlands. We are farmers and we are fishermen. Now we are not there. We are now able men have been reduced to IDPs spread across the state. It's very pathetic. So the situation of Agatu, we are calling the federal government, we are calling the international community to come to our aid. Agatu is bleeding, and we don't know after Agatu where next it will go.
There's a response from the presidency as President Muhammadu Buhari orders an investigation into the clashes between herdsmen and indigents of communities in Benue State. President Buhari calls for a thorough investigation into the root causes of the problem. His words: "We will conduct an investigation to know exactly what happened. The only way to bring an end to the violence once and for all is to look beyond one incident and ascertain exactly what factors are behind the conflicts." While it is believed that the chronic scarcity of pasture is the primary cause of nomadic pastoralism, the same scarcity is causing the Fulanis to take their herds to the uncontested forage in the outskirts of towns and large villages. Roaming cows, sheep and goats scavenging around school playgrounds, golf courses, government residential areas, street shoulders and railway sidings are a common sight in the cities. These beasts obstruct traffic flow, endanger street users and accentuate urban congestion. As developments build from the urban core to the rural hinterland, farmers escalate their incursions on the dry season grazing land, the rainy season grazing land, and the cattle route. These incursions prevent the government from acquiring large parcels of grazing land. The disappearance of natural grazing areas under the hoe, the fencing of farmyards, and the blocking of cattle routes are causing more conflicts between the farmers and the grazers. Statistics show that about 60% of migrant pastoralists who use the grazing reserves keep to the same reserves every year. The number and the distribution of the grazing reserves in Nigeria range from insufficient to severely insufficient. The controversial bill on grazing reserves and routes before the National Assembly has scaled through a second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, if passed into law, would lead to the establishment of the National Grazing Commission, established to acquire and manage parcels of land across the 36 states of Nigeria for the purpose of providing pastures for nomads and their herds of cattle.
It's controversial. That's why I said everybody owns the land. We have people who own the land through customary way. There are people who own the land by acquiring and buying the land. Now, whose land are you going to give to the cattle rearers? As at early 60s, 70s, Nigerian population was about 60, 70 million. But now we have a population of 160 million. So the more population we have, the more space of land, the less space of land we have. So I don't think it is wise to go and collect somebody's land and say, take it and give to the cattle rearers to continue as a grain reserve. Then that is a fundamental human rights of that person you are abusing, and you are also denying that person an opportunity of growing food to feed his own family. Food crisis is when there are shortage of food in a country. Definitely that is the cause of food crisis. The situation we are today, cattle are not the only food some people consume. Cattle is a protein, and we have other sources of proteins. There are in-house farming, where people can remain in their compound and rear their animals and feed. If you go to developed countries, all these things, you don't see the cows roaming about the streets. You don't see even animals roaming about the streets. Even dogs and other domestic animals are being controlled. Why don't you go in that way? So I feel that it's a very controversial bill that the National Assembly should not listen to, because you cannot please the herdsmen and displease the actual owners of the land and the great farmers. Because it's part of what is being produced by the farmers that even the cows fed out of it. So if you say graze and you give a land, nobody cultivate there, nobody grow anything there, then it becomes automatically, it's a wasted land, because the cow will not continue to eat sand. They must eat grass that grew from that place. They must eat some parts of guinea corn. They must eat the leaves of other things that have been planted by farmers. So I think it's not a bill that Nigerians will listen to. When you have a ranch, they remain there, they grow there, and people go there to buy and then kill and eat. So the best solution is not game reserve, but it's a ranch. A state can create a ranch, and that ranch should be in a place that, one, you will not deny some people opportunity of cultivating their crops.
The ugly situation has brought these young ones out on the streets. Little Daniel and Simon lead the protests against the massacre of their parents and siblings in the herdsmen attacks on communities in Benue State. Their demand is simple. All herdsmen in the state must leave.
I want peace in this state. We don't need any problem. They have already killed my parents, and I don't want to hear any problem again. They have already killed our neighbor. They have burnt our house. My call is that we should stop. Let the crisis stop. The fight they are fighting. We want the herdsmen to leave our state. Let them go to their own state. They should not be in our state more again. I live in Agatu. They killed my father. I ran for the crisis, and I'm living in TV Hope Academy, TV Orphanage Home.
So what do you want government to do?
I want government to protect our state, so that no Aflani issue. They should pursue Aflani from our state.
It is not clear what the lasting solution would be, but what is obvious is that the attacked Benue communities are still in deep fear of what the next day holds for them in terms of security, while their food basket is also threatened even as the next farming season draws near.